Hello. Do you take part of CTF events? This is capture the flag events. And do you take part of them alone or as part of a team? If you do it as part of a team, then CTFNote might be the software that you need to collaborate with your teammates more effectively. So let's have a look. I'm visiting the website GitHub where the code for CTFNote is hosted using Git. And you can see the description is a collaborative tool aiming to help CTF teams organize their work. It's written in TypeScript and has three components: the API, a Postgres database, and the frontend. And it uses Docker, so you can download the Docker images and run the project in seconds rather than having to download all the dependencies, install the dependencies, build the project, and so on. And that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to be using Docker to run the project very quickly. By the way, if you open the README file, you can see that there are instructions on how to run it, how to run the project. The first thing that you need to do is to create the .env environment file. So let's do that. And I have the project here, by the way, already cloned, because I don't want to clone it during the video. It takes a few minutes. So, by the way, it takes a few minutes because for some reason they included all the yarn cache in the GitHub repository. That's not a normal practice, I will say. You Git ignore this. Anyway, you can still clone it. It's super easy to do. In case you don't know, go here, grab this URL, and then in your terminal, git clone that URL. That's all I did. Anyway, so I'm going to create the environment file using the example one. I'm going to use it with the best editor, of course, Beam or NBeam, NeoBeam. And yeah, I'm going to change only three settings. So the first one is this, where to upload the images, and I don't want them to be uploaded to ImageUr, the online service. I want to use my file system. And the other is time zone, because I'm in Europe London time zone. I'm going to use that. And NGB, Great Britain. Okay, and of course there are other settings like security, content security policies, a few other things, the Discord settings, because it can send notifications to Discord when things are done, and so on. Anyway, so that's the environment file created. And now I can follow the second step explained here in the README, which is to start the Docker Compose. So Docker Compose app -d, which means detach. The containers will run in the background, and pull always means pull the Docker images. Okay, so let's do that. By the way, I don't use sudo because there's no need for it. So here it goes. First, pull the images, create the network, the volumes, and then the containers. So they should all be running. Like you can see, created 6 seconds ago, the ports that are open. So if I go to the first one, which is the front, it's also shown in here. So localhost 8080. I can see the login page, which is great. And it only took a few seconds to set up. So there are no users created by default. So you need to create one. So I'm going to go to register, and the first user that you create has all the admin privileges. So I'm going to create one pentestreports.com, password 123, because this is security, and that's it. So there are no CTF at the moment. Of course, it's a new instance. I'm going to create a new one. I'm going to call it Abertay Security Day CTF. That's one CTF I might be taking part of. You set the start date and the end date, say 26th of February. Okay. You can enter a description, all optional. And that's it. So that's the first CTF. Is live because I set the start date for today and the end date for 26th of February. You can see all the CTF in the calendar as well, which is super handy if you participate of many of them. And that's it. Let's open the CTF and see what we can do. So yeah, of course, task is the main thing. So you can create a task. Maybe the CTF tells you what the first tasks are, or maybe they don't. And you say, okay, first thing I'm going to do is find open ports. And that's part of the recon phase. Okay. And that's the first task created. I can open the task and start adding my findings. Say, I discover the port 21 is open. And because this is markdown, you can use all sorts of annotations. You can use, yeah, this is not a video on markdown. You know how to use it, I hope. But one of the cool things about CTFNote and Hedgehog, that's what I was going to say, is that you can collaborate with other users in real time. So I have one window open here. If I create a second one, you can see that here it says 2 people online. And so I have the person on the left and the person on the right. You can imagine these being 2 different people on the CTF team. So person 1 say, I'm here and I found a security hole. And the second person say, okay, I have an exploit for that. Have also found a credential. This is of course rubbish. I'm not making any sense, but you get the point. You can collaborate with other people in real time, put all the findings in a document, and that's super cool. So I'm going to close that window. You can publish all these findings, or you can go back to the task, and you can say, oh, I found a flag, and the flag value is 1, 2, 3, and that's it. So you can add, of course, guest people, teammates, and not much more, which is, I think, is a feature. It's not a bug. So the fact that the software CTFNote is simple is great, because it's well focused for collaboration, for CTF, and nothing else. It doesn't have a lot of or any distractions, anything that you don't really need. So you have tasks, you have calendars, you have uploads, you have document editing and collaboration. I hope you like it, and until the next video, goodbye.